Hello, Sagittarius. It's Kat's Real Life Mystic Tarot. Thanks for joining me at the end of 2019. We're ringing in 2020. I was telling my Taurus people, and those of you who aren't very familiar with numerology, it's kind of fun to see what your energies are numerologically for 2020 by adding your birth date to um, the number 4, which is 2020, 2 plus 2. For instance, my birth date, February 5th. So I would add 2, February, 5, my birth date, 7, 2, 2 and 2, 4, and I get 11. So I'm going to have an 11 year. So you can go online and you can find out the meanings of, say, number 11. Or let's say your birthday was February 22nd. Obviously it's not because I'm doing Sagittarius, but I'm just giving you an example. You would add 2 plus 2 plus 2 for the 22 and 2 plus 2 for 2020. So that would be 4, 4, 8, 9, 10, 10 year, right? 2 plus 2 plus 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you'd have a 10 year or a 1 year. So you can look up, 1 in numerology. So just for some fun, to get an idea of the energies. And I'm going to go over your energies now for 2020. And this is kind of, maybe the first quarter of 2020. I'm really focusing on, I'm going to do a horoscope spread that will be just for January. But right now I've laid out the cards that we're going to use. And I've been kind of suggested by my guides to just look at the bottom of these for you guys. So I have not seen these. Okay, so we have a death. So we have big transformation this year, 2020. The death card. I love the death card. If you're looking for a change, if you want to change a job, change where you live, change a relationship, this is the year that it will happen. Assessing. And this is so ironic, actually, you guys, because it's so crazy. I was meditating for you, and it's not crazy to you, I could just be saying this, but it's actually true. I was meditating, getting your meditation for January, and I saw you guys in a balloon. And I had once been to Kenya, to the parks there, and there are people that were in a balloon, and they'd come and they'd have lunch or breakfast. They'd come down, build a breakfast, and then fly away in their balloon. And they're, very beautiful. I never did it. I didn't feel like I needed to do it. But interestingly, this is how I saw you kind of flying. You were up in a balloon, kind of over some savannas like that. And you were looking at kind of having an overview of your experiences in life, the people in your life, everything from family to work to everything. And you were having a very calm perspective on just on your experiences. And you weren't alone in the balloon. There were other people in the balloon, but you didn't know them, nor did you need to really interact with them. But there were other people that were capable of having a very calm and objective look at. And when I say calm and objective, there was also some satisfaction and some joy and some beauty in your feelings about your life and how it has unfurled for you. So it was interesting that you were having this overview at this time of year in January 2020 of everything you've experienced. You have insights into how things unfurled in different situations and how you got to where you are now. What's hilarious about this is that this came up. So, I think this is very, very much a message from Spirit because I didn't look at these cards. I just had a vision. I was just having a vision. So, assessing. So really, really looking at where you're at now and really appreciating how things have unfolded. So interesting. So death card, big change. Assessing where you're at. And look at this. So your goddess is victim. I feel like it was next to the death card, and this is what you're ending. Like you're able to look at things from a higher perspective, Sagittarius, and you can. This is very important. This is something I did, but I don't know if this is for you. But tell yourself, I am not a victim. You may have had incidents previous in your life that made you feel that you were victimized. Whether you were or you weren't doesn't matter, because now, when you assess where you're at now, you are not a victim. You have everything going for you. But somewhere in your brain, you may have this idea that you are still that victimized person. And so if you carry yourself that way, you will attract situations that are, undesirable, shall we say. So, so for me personally, I have a little bit of a mantra. Sorry, this is personal, and I probably wouldn't have told you this except for this, but I say I am not a victim. I am not a victim. Particularly when I've gone into certain work and I feel uncomfortable with what's going on there and what's happened to me, I would say I am not a victim. I am not a victim. And it makes me carry myself a little differently. So I feel like there might be something in my story that will ring for you. It may be different, but it may be something like that. Okay, in the bottom of this deck, 8 of Wands. So things are going to happen very, very rapidly this year. You're going to have a lot of movement, emotion, and change. Okay, so let's get on with our reading. I am going to start with the vice versa, I think. So Sag, I hope you're having a great, it sounds like it's very interesting. I feel like you're having a very objective perspective on things. I'm really excited for, it's like a leveling up, like you're able to look at things in a completely detached is not exactly the word. Like I want to say engaged, but not emotional or attached to it. You're able to see things for what they really are. That's what I wanted. So here we go. Again, 8 of Wands came up. Okay, so just to show you, you're the one that's moving swiftly. So we had this card earlier. Things are moving swiftly in your life. You're the catalyst for it, or you are making some big changes. Okay, moving on. I always look at the major arcana. We have the Fool. Sorry, I was looking at the card and it was off camera. The Fool. And it looks like we're seeing you from behind. So it looks like you've already made steps in this direction. So this is happening in your 4th house of home. Could be indicating a possible move to another city, it could be as small as another community, another, neighboring community even. But you could be making a big move as well, or taking steps towards doing that. So, and in your 5th house, this is your house of relationships or creativity. I'm just seeing that you're no longer willing to wait. That came into my mind immediately when I saw this. No longer willing to wait. Enough's enough. So if that applies to somebody in a love relationship with you, it can also indicate your creativity if there's something that has been on the back burner and you really want to bring it forward. I'm getting more of a relationship thing, though. Like, you're just enough's enough. In your 6th house, balance, justice, in reverse. So in your 6th house of your daily work, there is some imbalance. There's possibly people who are moving ahead because of who they know, maybe some sort of nepotism, some sort of favoritism, maybe just their manipulative skills are getting them ahead. I see, or even just a pay imbalance. Maybe you're getting paid less. You could be upset because you're getting paid more and it's not fair. I mean, Sagittarius can see the big picture in things, but something's not fair at work. Something is not equal, and there's some criteria that's non-ethical going on. Okay, 7th house of committed relationships. I see a heartbreak. 3 of Swords. I feel like it's current. So if there's a committed relationship, this includes business partnerships, but it also is your marriage. This is your area of marriage or relationship. There appears to be, and heartbreak can be, it doesn't mean necessarily that the relationship ends, but what it means is there's been a truth or an incident or a discord, something that really bursts your bubble about what you have. So if you're in a committed relationship, you may find out there was some infidelity, whether it be just online or you find something, there could be something like that, or maybe just a soul awakening sort of conversation that really it can shock your ego a little bit. Like you think everything's great and they're telling you, no, it's not great and I'm not happy. That type of thing. So yeah, something like that. And we're going to clarify in a minute, but that's in your committed relationships. Appears to be current. That is okay. 11th house. In your 11th house is social groups. I have Temperance in reverse. Yeah, and these don't, it has a forward and back side. So this is still the reverse side. Temperance, moderation. Waiting for a message on that. This is in your social groups. I feel that, and it can be online social groups, or it can just be your friends. I feel like you don't really chime with some people that you're dealing with, whether it be online or it is your friends. Their values or ideas or allegiances or, anything along those lines isn't really sitting well with you anymore. And you have to decide what to do about it. They seem immoderate. And it can possibly be that you yourself are immoderate in the sense that you have a new interest that no one's really, that group is not interested in that. Let's say you were with a group that was interested in materialistic things, maybe name brand items or something like that. And you are getting involved with, let's say, eco groups or something, and you don't like waste and you're interested in minimalism. And so there's something that's just not really resonating with a social group. In your 12th house, or something that's happening underneath the surface, something you're not quite aware of, something that may be coming up, has to do with motherhood or your mother. So, or it can be that you're desiring to have a child or get pregnant, or your partner pregnant, just depends on who you are, but it's in reverse, so there's a difficulty there. Empress can also be health concerns or nutritional or nurturing concerns. So there can be some maybe dietary changes that you want to make, or something along that line. But in the 12th house, something's kind of creeping up. It may be creeping up an idea that you would like to become pregnant, or it's time, or maybe it's, the clock sort of thing, or that you really don't want to. If you're a male or female, it can be either. Maybe you don't really want to have a child. So but Empress, like I said, it's anything. There's something that's going to come up, and it can also just be your mom. So we'll clarify. I'm not certain where that one was going, but let's take a look at it. I'd like to take a look at Sagittarius's love life. They're saying they're just not waiting anymore. And there has been, in the committed relationship, there's been something that has been hurtful. shocking a little bit to Sag. Tell me a little bit about this not waiting anymore. 5, 6. So, 6 of Swords. So you're moving on from a bad place to a good place. So you're not waiting anymore. This has situation has run its course. If you're having a relationship and if you're having a good relationship, this isn't probably for you. But if you're having a difficult relationship, it looks like you're saying, that's enough's enough. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm moving on. And what this card means in the upright is you're moving from a difficult situation where all these swords are to this rainbow situation. So you're right to move on. So if you're questioning whether you should move on or not move on, it's looking like you should. For those of you in a love relationship, and this is in the non-committed region of the horoscope spread. Now in the committed, where there has been the 3 of Swords energy, the heartbreak, those of you that are in a committed relationship, and you can kind of blend these together if yours is somewhere semi-committed or whatever. Son of Wands. Okay. So I think what we were talking about earlier, where there may have been an infidelity, I mean, this card is known. This is the Knight of Wands, is known to be a bit of a player. So there might have been something that came up that they were playing around now. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's the end of the relationship, but you found out something and you don't like what you found out. So one more card for that. What's the outcome of this relationship for Sagittarius? January 2020. Sagittarius 2020. Knight of Wands. What's going on here? Oh boy. Yeah, he's not a prize, I don't think. They've got the devil energy too. So, yeah, so if this person has been showing, here's the thing. This is part of this person's nature. This is the devil. They have a little bit of a wanton behavior, whatever it is. Okay, the devil is everything that you can easily overdo. And you have to kind of keep a little bit of a chain on it. So this is describing your Son of Wands, your Knight of Pentacles, or Knight of Wands, sorry. And the devil, those two together to me says, yeah, this person could be promising that this is just a one-off. It's never going to happen again. But, you know, look at this guy. It's the devil, okay? If you're willing to deal with that, and personally, I don't think things should be so unbalanced as that, but there's a possibility that you could be. I mean, you know what you're getting into. But that's what I'm getting for that. Okay, so on the career front, we had this imbalance. Tell me about this imbalance at the daily job. What is this imbalance for Sagittarius? What's going on there? What is going on? What can they, for their daily job, what can they do? What is the energy for Sagittarius? 9 of Cups. So it's saying, to me, it's focus on the positive. Try to ignore whatever the nonsense is going on around you. This is the be happy. Get what you want out of it. Tell me about the 10th house career. Is there another career, or the daily job? They should just ignore the nonsense, even though it is definitely unfair. How about the 10th house of career? Wow, this is hilarious. I mean, it's not hilarious. It's very ironic. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Cups in reverse. It came up twice in your 10th house, which is very peculiar. So, I guess, what I'm getting from this, in your career or in your work sector, they don't have to be your best friends. They're not your friends. I guess that's the message. These are your coworkers. It's professionalism. Be happy for yourself and whatever you're getting, as long as you're getting the compensation that you need. If you're being utilized in the way you need to be utilized, it's fine. The Ace of Cups, not everyone's going to love you. You're not going to love all of them. And it's just saying, yeah, no need. And even this came up in the reverse for this. This is the forward position. It came in reverse. So yeah, there might not be a lot of love there. Don't be shocked if they react in certain ways towards you that you think is not. It just isn't that kind of environment. You have your own friends. Those people at work, as much as Sagittarius, I feel like you're kind of happy, easygoing, not so competitive as, and you might put your foot in your mouth once in a while. We know Sagittarius is famous for that. These people, they're not there to be your friends. You're not there to make friends. I'm not saying be mean, but just tolerate. Let's say the other cards were saying be happy, and the imbalance is there, that lack of justice, whatever. As long as you're getting what you need, it's fine, and you can always move on. You're not trapped. So that's the story there. Let me get just a couple of cards. And that goes along with seeing the big picture in your balloon, Let's get a couple of cards. Just, let's sum up some, Let's sum up some 2020 energy, beginning maybe first quarter 2020 for Sagittarius. Let's get a couple cards here, just 3 cards, just to give a little additional oomph to what's going on. We got 1, we have 2, and we have 3. Okay. I feel like there's a little bit of a theme. Okay, so you're mending some injuries. This is this card. Mending some injuries that you've had. I am not a victim, if that applies to you, or victimology. You're not a victim anymore. You have everything that you need. And it's saying to notice the milk and honey. Notice the abundance you have. Notice what you're getting, and you have deep knowing, deep understanding. So it's really you in the balloon again, overlooking your whole life and seeing it from the big picture. You're seeing it with an overview, an unemotional, unattached way. The milk and honey it's pretty beautiful, and life is beautiful. There was a movie like that. Life is beautiful. It really is, and really seeing it. That's why you got the happiness card in your work. And forget them. Forget those other people, and enjoy your life. And also deep knowing, you have the wisdom, and there's only a few people in the balloon with you, and you didn't know them or need to talk to them. And this is in my meditation earlier. If you're just tuning in, there's a few. You didn't talk to them, but there's other people like yourself out there that can see, and you're a rare type that can see the big picture, that you're not so caught up in your subjective view of things. You're able to be objective. You're called upon in 2020 to be objective, to enjoy your life, and to heal. So that's your reading, January 2020. I hope you enjoyed it. If it resonates, give me a thumbs up. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, share it, and join me, subscribe. Thanks a lot, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you next year.